Okay, so let's talk about the first one, then break it down here. Who is your most favorite character, and for what reason? Now, I've mentioned this a few times. My favorite character is Dusel, and I like Dusel the most. And I think I've explained this once already in the first podcast. But the reason why I like Dusel so much is that not only are his supports probably one of the best in the game, and probably one of the best in the entire franchise. He's so relevant in the story, and it's something you don't really see often with a character who's so well written in both the main campaign and their supports, where he's just like an all-inclusive package. He has, he comes from an enemy, Dusel, like he comes from the enemy side, and then he switches over. But his act of treason and betraying Grotto is such an integral part of his character that it bleeds into his supports, and a lot of his supports deal with this very real sensation of his guilt, and you can actually feel his guilt, and he has a pretty sad support with Null, and he also has sad but uplifting kind of support with Ephraim, but it all relates to who Dusel is, and just what makes him great. And I love it. I absolutely love Dusel as a character. I love his design. I love the kind of characters who are old grizzled war vets.
Yeah,
they're just always super cool. That's why I like Molder's not a war vet, but he's an old guy who's seasoned and stuff.
Yeah,
those are the kind of characters I like. So for me, Dusel is he's got everything going for him. Also, he's a sick unit, and apparently my friend told me this, but if you do a 0% growth run on FE8, he's one of the only characters who will survive a hit by the Demon King.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Makes sense because he's pretty beefy.
Yeah. So what about you? Favorite character and why?
Oh geez. That's a really hard one. It's definitely changed a lot over time. Okay, so the first favorite character ever was Guy, because for some reason I've always liked the Myrmidon and the Swordmaster characters. Not so much recently. I don't like Lon'qu that much. He's fine and everything, but he's just a little too plain for me. And I didn't really like Hinata in Fates either.
Oh, don't get me started with that guy. Do not get me started with Hinata. Yeah. He's my arch enemy. He's my arch nemesis. He's my nemesis.
Yep. At least in every single game there was one I liked. The cool thing about Path of Radiance was you had Zehark, you had Stefan, he was cool. But yeah, if I had to say one, the first one ever would be Guy. Then obviously I liked Joshua and Marissa. Right now, if I had to pick a favorite character, I'm really liking Karel. In Fire Emblem Heroes, he's awesome. His skills are good. And just going back and reading the history about him again, about how he's this crazed sword demon killer and stuff. And in Fire Emblem 6, he's a bit different. He gives that up, I think, right? I've never played Fire Emblem 6. I still need to get around to doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. He's Karel's cool because in FE7 he was this bloodthirsty monster, and in retrospect I don't know if Eliwood was doing the right thing when he recruited this guy, because he was a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
But in FE6 he's this old, still super amazingly experienced character, but he's just not crazy.
Yeah. And his whole family is cool too, because he's got Carla.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like that.
Yeah.
And he's Fur's uncle too, right? I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Or is it Fur's uncle? Yeah, Fur's uncle. Yeah,
something
because
that. Yeah.
Barter and Carla have Fur, and then yeah, that makes sense.